Yeah, as you may have guessed from the opening song, I've got Georgia on my mind. But welcome, everybody. Here we go. It's Matt Connarton Unleashed. Happy Friday. Here we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. It's beautiful outside. Another wonderful spring day. It's almost a little bit humid, though, or at least it was earlier. But, yes. Of course, we're also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org. And, of course, you can go to mattconnerton.com for all your streaming options. And hello to our friends at Raw Talk Online. And, of course, you can get the show later on all the major podcasting platforms. But if you are joining us live, it is wonderful to have you here on this Friday, March 26th. 2021. And I want to remind you, of course, we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza, right across the street at 1000 Elm Street. They have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. Apparently, from what I understand, Trivia Night last night was a rousing success. So please continue to support them. They are a wonderful family that owns and operates it, in addition to the wonderful food and beverage and the great service there. So, and they do everything very safely there. The staff is masked at all times, even out back in the kitchen. And the tables are nice and spread out. And what'll be nice is once they have the which I think it might be happening this weekend, I'm not sure. The outdoor dining is set back up again. That's going to be really nice. And we've been having perfect weather for it. So it is a great place. They do Sunday brunch, too, by the way, if you didn't know. So the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street. And thank you all of our listeners who continue to support them. We really appreciate it. You know, obviously, this pandemic has been a very rough time for millions of people and businesses and so forth. But particularly suffering has been the food and, the restaurant and the bar industry. But the Hop Knot has been able to persevere through this. And so we're really grateful to everyone who continues to support them. So thank you so much. And make sure you support your local businesses wherever you are. You know, I always say the big chains, the big national chains, they'll be fine. They'll be just fine, my friends. But it's the small places, the mom and pop restaurants and merchants and so forth that really need the help through this terrible time. So thank you to everyone who does their part. And we will get through it. There is light at the end of the tunnel, now more so than ever, I would say. So, and if you'd like to call us today on the program, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. So there is no shortage of ways to get in touch. And, of course, you can interact and opine on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page in the live chat. But the best thing to do, of course, is to call us at 603-250-6007. By the way, Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon, unless I hear otherwise, he has ditched me at the last minute on a few occasions. But sorry, I just realized I hadn't made sure that Skype was open. He's going to be Skyping in at 4:30 to do his entertainment report. And don't we all look forward to that? You don't have to answer me. That's strictly a rhetorical question, but I know we all look forward to that. I know I do, and I'm sure you do as well, especially our friend Scott Robinson, who looks forward to it more than anyone I know. So he'll be Skyping in at 4:30, and we look forward to that. Let's see. We have some friends in the Facebook live chat, so we'll take a moment to say hello to all of you on this Friday afternoon. Looks like Wayne Noel, first one in today, a top fan all the way from Michigan. Wayne says, happy Friday, Matt. Brian Mackey, all the way from Idaho, says, well, it's Friday. Christian Lacoss, all the way from, he lives with Jenny and I, actually. He is a top fan. He says, welcome to the start of allergies. If anyone sees me and I look like Barry the Clown, don't ask questions. Yes, it's time for spring allergies. I can relate to that. My allergies seem to be year round. I might be allergic to our cats for all I know. But yes, I wake up every morning. It's a sneeze-a-thon in my house. But, and then I take a decongestant and then I'm good for the rest of the day. There's Scott Robinson in the Facebook live chat says, can't wait for the report. I bet you're on pins and needles. And I hope, sir, that you have your pen and paper ready for those Amanda McCarthy tour dates. Mike Pelopita is in the chat. Mike says, good afternoon, everyone. Mike, of course, from another one of our wonderful sponsors here at WMNH 95.3 FM, Queen City Cabinetry. And another one of our great local businesses. And like I was saying, it's so important to support our local businesses. Miriam Banish is in the chat room. Hello, Miriam. Looks like Miriam's dog, Scout, is doing better. But I did share out the GoFundMe. She's, trying to raise some money for veterinarian bills. I think the dog needs a procedure. But adorable from the pictures that I saw, the Miriam's dog. Benji Day is in the chat room. Benji says, finally back, unzucked after a month. I assume unzucked meaning referring to Mark Zuckerberg. I guess Benji must have experienced a little bit of Facebook jail. Well, what can you do? You got to be careful. Things are a little sensitive nowadays on the social media and the Facebook. But Benji, I believe, is a friend of our friend Dan Randlett and, of course, Paul Cormier, better known as Paulie C, because today is Friday. So just a quick programming note. I will remind you that coming up here from the studios of WMNH at 6 p.m., Granite State of Mind, hosted by the great Rob Azevedo. And then tonight at 7:30 p.m., I'm back with of course, Paulie C, Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C, and our friend Dan Randlett, now at 7:30, 2.5 hours of Retro Spectrum Radio every Friday night. And I know people really enjoy that program. Lots of very positive feedback on that. So our friend Eazy-G Eric Gagnon will be Skyping in at 4:30, like I said. Let me give the numbers again in the meantime. If you'd like to get in with a call, 603-250-6007. So the reason I played that song at the beginning, Jim Crow Blues, which was originally Leadbelly, but I played Odetta covering it because I just if you look online for a really good, sort of radio quality version of the original, it's difficult to find. I did find one that was remastered, but I like the Odetta version. What a fantastic voice that she has. I've found a couple different versions to choose from, but if you have been following what's been going on in the state of Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia signing into law these new voting rights measures, which seem to it's a solution in search of a problem. I mean, I'm not aware of anyone discovering large-scale voter fraud in the state of Georgia, but they have passed these new laws restricting voting rights in the state of Georgia, making it harder to vote. Not rights in the sense that anyone who was eligible to vote is still eligible to vote, but they're trying to make it more difficult. There's something similar happening in Texas, and I think we're going to see a lot more of this. Now, I want to share with you first, some of you may have already seen or heard this, but a little bit of audio from last night when Governor Brian Kemp. By the way, Brian Kemp, I haven't heard anyone else really point this out, but I'm sure it's occurred to people. I think that part of the motivation here of Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia signing these odious new restrictions into law in that state, which will, and the reason, we're talking about Jim Crow is this, would seem to be a measure to discourage Black Americans in Georgia from voting, and thus, costing, because, we saw what happened in Georgia, right? Joe Biden won the state. It was the first time a Democrat had won the state in quite a few years. I forget exactly how long, but there were a lot of mail-in votes, particularly from Atlanta. But we also saw, well, in the aftermath of that, we saw Governor Brian Kemp. I mean, he was not so much the target as, is he the state attorney general, Brad Raffensperger? I forget if that's his actual title, but, he's in charge of overseeing, or he was in charge of overseeing voting in the state of Georgia. And Raffensperger, of course, becoming particularly famous in the world of politics when at that time President Trump called him and said, look, I just need you to find another 78,000 votes or whatever the number was. Come on, help me out, man. Well, he didn't say it like that. That's more a Joe Biden thing. Come on, man. But he said, look, I just need you to find some votes. And I don't know why you don't want to help me out here, Brad. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what the call was. And here you had Brad Raffensperger, a Republican, and Brian Kemp, governor of Georgia. Like I said, Raffensperger was the main target. And of course, he's getting death threats from fellow Republicans who are mad at him for not finding those votes to try to overturn Georgia in favor of Trump. But Governor Brian Kemp also did take some flack for that, for saying, Brian Kemp at the time, to his credit, standing up and saying, look, our election was fair. It was accurate. This is the outcome. There's nothing wrong with how this election was conducted. So, that's it. Joe Biden carried Georgia. What do you want from me? Again, I'm paraphrasing. But I think that part of his motivation, and this is the part I haven't heard anyone really say, but this is, I believe, the motivation for Brian Kemp wanting to do this. I think that this is a way for him to try to save his own political career. Because if you've got all these MAGA people in Georgia who are angry with him for not bending to Trump's will and finding some way to uncertify or recertify the election results in Georgia, find some way to overturn it and flip it to Trump. I mean, he only needed 78,000 votes, right? Or 75,000, whatever it was. Not stepping in to help to find a way to find those votes, then, I think this is kind of his way of saying, from the perspective of Governor Brian Kemp, I think this is his way of saying, to the MAGA people in Georgia, look, I'm still with you. I'm going to help make sure that black Georgians are discouraged from voting in the future, so we don't accidentally elect any more Democrats, right? So because and I'm sure we can come up with some way to rationalize why it should be a misdemeanor to hand out food and water to people standing in line in a Georgia election, right? We can find. By the way, interestingly enough, they really haven't that I've seen explained why it should be a misdemeanor to hand out water to people standing in line waiting to vote in the hot sun. But apparently, that's a problem. I guess handing out water to people helps to somehow cause a mass scale voter fraud. And then a Democrat actually wins an election in Georgia. Oh, my goodness. No, they so far, I really haven't seen a lot of explanations, rationalizations, justifications for why this had to be done. These unfounded claims of widespread voter fraud that show me some evidence. I don't remember seeing anything coming out of Georgia about it, actually. The only place I remember seeing some voter fraud that apparently there was some strong evidence of was in Pennsylvania, where they actually found, I think, was it 2 or 3 instances of voter fraud where there seemed to be voter fraud. Yeah, interestingly enough, it was people fraudulently voting for Donald Trump, in fact. Oh, wow, what do you know? Yeah, that was in Pennsylvania. But yeah, so this is what's, like I said, obviously Georgia's been on my mind. But we have our first call of the show today. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
I remain Ridley.
Dave Ridley. How are you?
I'm okay. But Matt, I'd be better if you weren't falling into the trap of wasting your time on imperial politics.
Oh, yes. I'm concerned about people having the right to vote.
Yes, I am too, but everyone else is already talking about that, and you can't influence that. You can influence New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire's not really what my show's about, though, Dave. I don't know if you, in all the time you've been calling, I don't know if you figured this out yet, but I discuss national politics primarily. I mean, well, I'm willing.
Well, I know, but everyone else is already talking about that. But you just happen to be right in the middle of all these interesting things that are happening that aren't being reported. And for me, I'd be focused on this interesting stuff that no one else is talking about, as opposed to just talking about the same old things that everyone else is talking about in talk radio.
Yeah, but Dave, everyone else doesn't talk about it the way that I talk about it. And I'm not trying to say that what I do is, like this super original, unique thing or anything, but the vast majority of political talk radio is, first of all, it's dominated by conservatives, and I'm not a conservative. And most of it is conservative talk show hosts who only talk to conservative guests and only take calls from conservative callers. And it's this giant sort of exercise in conservative groupthink where you have the host and the callers and the guests all basically patting each other on the back and celebrating this whole exercise of, yay, we all think exactly the same thing and have exactly the same opinions, and we're not going to let any independent thoughts or ideas in, and we're just going to sit here and talk about how much we hate Democrats and liberals for 2 hours or 3 hours and whatnot. And that's what most political talk radio is. And you do have a few liberal shows out there, too, that are mostly from a liberal perspective. But I kind of come from outside of that paradigm. So I think what I do is pretty unique. And I disagree with you that what I do is what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, I think you've got a point. And ultimately, it doesn't really matter so much what your opinion is about the news that you're covering, only whether you're covering it, right? The main problem with the mainstream press is not that they get facts wrong necessarily, but that they are failing to aim their camera at the really big scandals and trying to aim more at the small scandals, right? That they're allowed to aim at. And this is obviously an approved topic, right? I mean, the authorities like you talking about this.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, this is just like. This is sort of part of the mainstream press script these days, is to talk about this issue, right?
Well, if you're someone who cares about, if you're someone like me who's interested in national politics and have been since I was a kid, it's a fascinating issue to discuss. But there's no,
yeah.
I would have to take issue with your characterization of it being an approved topic. I do sometimes discuss issues that are not being talked about much in the mainstream media, or I think are being underserved by the mainstream media, but no one. I'm actually, Dave, to be honest with you, here at WMNH, I'm given an incredible amount of, and I don't take it for granted either, which is why I actually appreciate the opportunity to mention this. I'm given incredible autonomy. Like, I hope no one thinks, or I hope you don't think, Dave, that someone is telling me, like, what is okay for me to discuss or not to discuss or anything like that. I mean, there are certain things I can't do, obviously, and I'm discouraged from doing because, we have sponsors and there's FCC regulations and things like that. So I do have to be somewhat careful, but I'm given an incredible amount of autonomy. And to be honest with you, I'm the one who decides for myself what's interesting to me. And if the audience wants to come along, that's great. And hopefully they do. And if they don't, that's fine, too. There's a million other choices. In fact, right here in this radio market locally, they can click over to Howie Carr and listen to a conservative talk show host talk about how much he hates Democrats for 3 hours a day. And I guess that's intellectually stimulating radio for some people. Not for me, but whatever.
Are you allowed to talk about Manchester news now?
We don't do, but that's not a matter of, see, people misunderstand this. It's not a matter of not being allowed to. That was a mutually arrived at decision between myself and the management here. Part of it is we just don't need the hassle of what happens when we talk about local politics. But also part of it is I have listeners from across the country and in Canada, actually, who really aren't that interested in what happens on a micro level in Manchester, New Hampshire. Also, too, when we used to when I first started doing the show here at WMNH, we did try to kind of mix in some local Manchester stuff, but it got very tedious very quickly. I seem to lose listeners, not gain them when we did that. And it plays to my weakness, not to my strength. My strength is national politics, and I'm interested in state politics. And if there's something interesting going on somewhere else, like you've brought things to the table that I think are interesting. But yeah, we don't do local Manchester stuff here. No.
Well, anyway, something is interesting going on in New Hampshire at the New Hampshire level that may be of interest to everyone because it involves the larger issues of society.
Okay.
But the most active New Hampshire Facebook group, to my knowledge, has just been deleted by Facebook.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting to me. I'm very interested in anything to do with deplatforming and anything like that. I'm very interested in hearing about.
Yeah, so it's the Reopen NH Facebook group.
So, right, and I'm familiar with Reopen NH, and we've talked about it when you've called. But so for those who don't know, Reopen NH is just basically people who don't like the restrictions imposed by the governor due to COVID. They object to the COVID restrictions, correct?
Oh, that's basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a relatively accurate description of the thing. I guess reopennh.com is still functioning, and I'm assuming they will adapt and go to Gab or whatever it is they do. But, yeah, I mean, I expected it would happen sooner or later. And it happens more because they are big than because they are bad, right? I mean, because I'm just as counter establishment as they are, but I haven't been deleted yet.
Right. But when you say deleted, so tell me what exactly happened. So is it a page or a group? Because there is a
group.
It's a group. Okay, so it's a private group that people can join, or a public group that people can join.
I think it's publicly visible. I think you maybe had to join in order to post, but I think that's the case with all Facebook groups. And they were always. I found them to be. They seemed to be pretty tolerant of. I didn't see my posts deleted or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they were deleting people who disagreed with them. I don't know, but you're allowed to do that on Facebook. I don't remember what the charge was or what they accused them of, but the important thing is that they were deleted.
So deleted, as in they just don't exist at all, or they've been suspended, or they just don't exist. They're gone.
The word that Andrew Manous used was deleted. He's the guy that runs Reopen.
Okay. Huh. Well, I mean, I as you know, I did not agree with Reopen NH because I think the restrictions were necessary, as we've discussed many times. But I'm not a fan of the page being deleted. I mean, unless it was something. Has he said any more, Andrew Manous? Like, has he indicated that he knows why? Or I've never had anything like that deleted, so I don't know if they tell you. Like, does Facebook tell you why? Or is it like a blanket thing, like you violated our terms of service somehow? Or does he know?
I'm looking for the post here, but it's going to take me a sec to find it, and it's going to take me a sec to get the exact details.
Yeah.
So you may not want to just sit there and have dead air while I'm looking for it.
Right. By the way, Dave, someone in the Facebook live chat mentioned that he's listening from Egypt right now because we were talking about, people from other places who listen. Christian Lacoss in the chat room was speculating maybe it was something called misinformation. Was there misinformation being posted in the group possibly?
It's conceivable that they accused them of it, and I'm sure that if you have an open group where anyone can post whatever they want, then someone's going to post something that's not true sooner or later.
Yeah, absolutely.
But to your Egyptian viewer, I would say anta kalamo luhat al arabieto.
Wow!
And he can answer the question if he wishes. If I got that right.
You
Anta kalamo luhat al arabieto. I'm asking a question, and we'll see from the reply whether I got that right. But anyway, go ahead.
Wow. Okay. How many languages do you speak, Dave?
Bits and pieces of 7.
That is very impressive to me. That is very impressive
I
to me.
I can only speak Croatian fluently.
Only. That's very impressive, Dave. I took 3 years of Spanish and I remember almost none of it. That is absolutely. Now Ben Dion in the Facebook live chat, who of course, by the way, is the host of the weekly Dion here at WMNH, he says the Facebook page was not deleted, but the Facebook group pertaining to Reopen NH was deleted, supposedly.
Yeah, and that's the one that counts because that's where I can post, you can post, but a page I think is just sort of more like a website, isn't it?
Well, you should be able to, in theory, post directly to the Facebook page, unless it's. But I get confused because Facebook has all kinds of different settings. When you set up these pages, maybe only admins can post. I don't know. Did you find what you were looking for, Dave?
I don't see the details.
Okay.
I don't see the details here. I'm just tying you down right now. I'm done with my call and
all right.
Be tying down your show anymore. But so I don't have any more details.
Okay, no, I was just curious. Like I said, I mean, issues of deplatforming are very interesting to me. It's been an ongoing topic on this program lately. In fact, I discussed it at length with a very controversial guest recently, Jesse P.S. of the Pod Awful podcast, who that interview has been circulating. People have been circulating it on YouTube, and it's but I may have lost a friend over that. I don't know. But anyway, that's a separate story. But I do find these topics interesting and important. Dave Ridley, thank you for the call. Why don't you give the Ridley Report a plug before you go?
RidleyReport.com. I have now been deplatformed from YouTube and not much else, but BitChute. I am still on BitChute, and BitChute is there's so many videos on BitChute that it's hard to get a video to air there.
Oh,
and so I further evacuated to Rumble. So anyway, the censorship makes what we do more interesting, I guess, not less.
Yeah, that's glass half full. All right, Dave. Thank you for the call. Have a safe weekend.
Call.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
You too.
All right, Dave Ridley leaves us. And, Eazy-G should be Skyping in any moment. Ooh, Bobby Champagne in the chat room is saying, we want Eazy-G, 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 Eazy-G. Wow. I mean, this is going to go to his head, that big giant head that he has. And he does have a large head. I can say that, and it's not mean or hurtful, because I also have a large head. You know, we Irish people, we have large heads. I mean, I look like a South Park character. Let's see. Eazy-G, is that you?
Yeah, I'm just waiting my turn.
Oh, waiting your turn. All right. Oh, well, speaking of waiting your turn, we have a call. This might be someone with a call regarding your entertainment report. Let's see who's on the line. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
This is Christian.
Oh, Christian Lacoss. How are you?
I wasn't calling in regards to the entertainment report. I was calling in regards to your previous caller.
Yes, Dave Ridley.
Oh, he bored me to sleep. I just want you to know that.
Oh my goodness! Well, he'd probably make a good hypnotist.
Apparently.
Yes.
But man, how are you gonna call? Okay, how are you gonna call? Bring up something, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You follow me? And then not have the information up about it. If you're gonna try to defend something, you need to have the information up about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Talk about egg on your face.
Oh, did you hear that?
I just heard Eric in the background.
Yeah.
Talk about egg on your face. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, he's not in the background. He's on Skype.
His face. But with that, I'll let you get to your entertainment report. I just wanted to express my frustration.
All right, Christian. Thank you for the call.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Hey, before we get to the entertainment report, I happened to watch the Joe Biden press conference the other day, and I have a feeling why he didn't give one. And before, he's not good at it.
Really? I think he did fine.
To me, he looked a little bit nervous.
Well, he may have been nervous. It's his first official press conference as president. Wouldn't you be nervous, Eazy-G? Remember how nervous you were the first time you did your entertainment report?
Yeah. I just listened to the whole thing. He just seemed really nervous. Like you were saying the other day, it's not really his favorite thing to do, give press conferences.
Right. Well, there is a suspicion that there may be some effort to shield him a bit from the media. I'm not sure. It's possible. He does have a history of being a bit gaffe prone. Yeah.
He's going to run again in 4 years, and will Trump be his person he runs against? He goes, I'm not thinking about that.
We could actually see a rematch.
Everybody knows that he's not going to run again. He'd be like 82 years old. Come on.
Well, did you see him? Oh, never mind. I was going to say, did you see him running up the steps of Air Force One? But that actually didn't end well. Never mind. Yeah.
A lot of the media, a lot of the guys, media, the talking heads on the radio were making fun of that, saying he's senile, he's falling apart. And Glenn Beck was having a really fun time with him today, saying, he's pathetic, he's too old, and of course the guy on Fox was ganging up on him too.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Still on Fox.
Hey, all I know is I give the Biden administration thus far an A+ on pandemic response, and that to me is the number one issue. I have some concerns about some other things, but on the pandemic, an A+, knocking it out of the park. And I don't use sports metaphors lightly because I know so little about sports.
Yeah, that was yeah. I guess we're so used to the last guy, Trump, with in your face and yelling at the media, and this guy here is just a lot more level-headed. But I can just tell that he's not a big fan of doing the press conferences. Almost like Bill Belichick, when he has to give his post-game press conferences. He really don't want to do it, but he has to. It's part of the rules in the NFL.
Yeah, doesn't I'm not a football guy, but I get the impression, doesn't Belichick not really answer much? Doesn't he just not say much and just look annoyed the entire time?
He's a close to the vest, yeah.
Close to the vest.
Yep. All right, I'm ready for the report now.
Oh my goodness, your entertainment report. Well, here, let me we'll have to hit your music here. We got to do this right. Let's see. I've got it ready here. All right, here we go.
He was once a thug from around the way. Easy.
You want to know about stock market crashes, COVID-19, drive-bys, celebrity gossip? Eazy-G's got ya. Entertainment report style. That's why I'm easy.
'Cause ain't nothing but a G thing, baby.
Are you ready for start time?
Let's find out. Ready, set, go.
Well, by the way, Eazy-G, Stephen Philbrook is in the chat room. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, one more time. Stephen Philbrook is in the chat room and says that you are jealous of President Biden's oratory skills.
I don't know about that, but. Well, I got a question there on
yes.
Next week. You have a special April Fool's show, so I bump my report to the on Friday instead, or you. Oh
no, you can still do it. Whatever. Why? What?
Well, I'm just wondering because you said you had a special show, so I don't know if that.
Well, I have an April Fool's Day, although I have to make sure I still have the one thing that might screw me up is I have to make sure I still have the item that I need to do my April Fool's prank. Because if I can't find it, then it's off. But yeah, whatever day works for you, Eazy-G.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll start today then. It's March 26th. I don't think I've ever dedicated this to this gang before. The Sesame Street Gang.
The Sesame Street Gang.
And it's funny, I saw on the preview that this Monday, even though it's technically a little over 50, they're having a special 50th anniversary of the March 29th. This Monday on ABC, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And it's going to be behind the scenes of Sesame Street. So that sounds to me like it's going to be a fun show.
Well, I've heard, and I'll have to watch that because maybe the truth will finally be revealed. I've heard that some of the characters on Sesame Street aren't like real actors, but they're puppets or something made to look like people.
But it was funny, though, speaking of your show coming up at 7:30, Retrospective Radio.
Yes, with Pauly C.
the Christmas show. You had the Bert and Ernie, and it was the funniest thing at Christmas time.
Was it really? It was the funniest thing, Eric?
It really was.
Hmm.
I always loved Bert and Ernie. It reminds me of my childhood. Presents there, and they went over, and a guy came back, and he gave him the same present that he gave him, and it was Bert's favorite, and was Ernie's favorite.
Oh boy, I'll tell you.
So Sesame Street Gang. Yeah.
So that's who you're dedicating your report to is the Sesame Street Gang.
And this week coming up is in the Catholic Church is the Holy Week.
Oh, thank God! No pun intended.
The other entertainment report, Robert Diamond will be busy at his church there, and of course this Sunday it starts with Palm Sunday, and then this is something they do over at Episcopal Church. It's called Tenebrae Wednesday. Have you ever heard about that?
It's called what?
Tenebrae Wednesday is
Tenebrae.
It's a small little ceremony, and they keep shutting off the candles, and at the end they do a big bang, and everybody jumps.
Okay, I have to tell you, this sounds like some weird pagan thing.
They do a loud bang, like a gong.
Bang a gong, get it on, bang a gong.
Last two Easters, the church has been closed due to the pandemic, so hopefully next year I can go to the service.
I'm thinking of some Opie and Anthony references that I'm going to keep to myself so that I don't get fired.
And then over at First Church, in the Grace Church, we celebrate an event called Marty Tuesday.
Marty Tuesday. My dad will like that. My dad's name is Marty.
Oh, there you go, Marty.
Marty, yeah. But it's short for Martin.
And then Saturday, you got the Holy Saturday. It's called the Easter Vigil. And, of course, on Sunday, April 4th, you've got the Easter Sunday.
Why is Easter on a different Sunday every year, Eazy-G? Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's late. I mean, why can't they just pick a day and just go with it?
Easter, Halloween, not Halloween, but Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday. But
right. Well, and Easter is always on a Sunday. But Thanksgiving is always either on the third or fourth Thursday. But Easter, it could be whenever. Who knows, right?
Yes, and I like to follow a station on. I found out, that I still had the channel. It's Father Reed. It's a Catholic network on 268. And he always says it's all for you. So I like to watch that channel.
All for you. What does that mean? It's all for you.
All for you, meaning it's a reference that the channel is all for you. The religious channels,
Oh, I thought you meant like it's all for the Lord.
Something like that, yeah. A friend of mine used to work for the station.
I should probably look into it and be more precise with that, Eazy-G. We don't want you to end up in hell.
Yeah, well, I like the channel.
Good.
So anyways, I'm looking for something to do tomorrow at the Foundry. Walker Smith will be playing at 6 o'clock.
Walker Smith, yes, he has played at the occasionally he plays at the Hop Knot.
Yes, he's a really good performer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're gonna cross those dates out. We already discussed that stuff.
By the way, Scott Robinson, your biggest fan, says in the chat, it would be a true April Fool's joke if Easy actually did his report on a Wednesday like he is supposed to.
Yeah, Wednesdays are out now. I do it on Thursday or Fridays now. So
right.
Oh yeah, I will lightly start this. UNH, they had a lot of trouble with the UNH hockey season where they lost like 10 games due to the virus. Well, so far the UNH football team, and it's been delayed season because of COVID. It was supposed to play in the fall, last year, and they started to play some games now, and they've already lost last week's game and this week's game because of COVID, and they don't even know if they can play the following week. So talk about and season's only 6 games. They already have all the season scheduled for next in the fall of this year. They should have just forgotten about playing because, as you all know, COVID is still a problem.
Eric Street says in the chat there was a Marty as the meat manager from where I used to work at. The meat manager before that was a Ron. Well, I wonder if it's the same Ron who calls us. Perhaps he used to be a meat manager. Have you ever worked as a meat manager, Eazy-G? And if so, were you fired?
Me and meat don't get along. It makes my hands break out.
Right. Don't touch the meat. You're allergic.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You don't want your hand to break out.
Coming up next month
Keep
is
your
the
hands off the meat.
NHL trade deadline, April 12th, and of course next month coming up soon. This Thursday, it's no April Fool's joke. The Red Sox season begins, and I apologize for the noise.
What is that, Eazy-G? Do you have a fax machine?
It's the guy cleaning the floors in the bathrooms Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
You're doing your entertainment report in the bathroom, and a guy is cleaning the bathroom?
He's vacuuming the floor outside here. I mean, vacuuming the carpets.
Okay, so I have an idea. What I think you should do is grab that guy and see if he has anything to contribute to the entertainment report. He might have some Amanda McCarthy tour dates that you're not currently aware of.
Yeah, well, the first game is going to be Oakland at Houston on Thursday, and then the Red Sox are going to be playing their first game against the Orioles, and then it always makes me angry. They start with the season opener, and then they take the next day off.
You think you're angry? Imagine how I feel.
And then April 3rd and 4th, they play the same team, the Orioles. The Red Sox have been doing halfway decent in the preseason, but the preseason games don't matter. So we'll see what happens next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
It's no April Fool's joke there.
Brian Mackey is in the Facebook live chat, but Rocky Huber says, this isn't the real Brian. The real one is boycotting the entertainment report due to Tabletgate. Are you satisfied? What's that?
I've moved on from that.
Tabletgate is over, yes.
There's probably be another scandal down the road, but right now that's
there
over.
will be. But there are so many unanswered questions.
The other entertainment report bought it for $100 and you're gonna donate to charity, I guess. So.
Eric Street says the
Boys Club, the Girls Club, like he donated that. Gave $150 for that donut I gave Peter White a couple Black Fridays ago.
Eric says there was another meat manager named Steve, I think. Any Steves associated with WMNH? None that I know. Do you know anyone named Steve who used to be a meat manager, Eazy-G?
I have. Can't say I have. Next month, the NFL draft is going to be happening April 29th, 30th, and May 1st, my birthday, in Cleveland, Ohio, the 86th NFL draft. A lot of people look forward to the draft. Mm-hmm. Why, I don't know, but I found it boring. I find it kind of boring after the couple of players they might know. And once it gets to like the 15th round, he's like, "Oh, Johnny Below is drafted." I was like, "Who the heck's that guy?"
So speaking of a draft, Eazy-G, a quick anecdote from my childhood. So when I was little, a wee lad, a young urchin, my mother would give me a bath. And she would let me soak in the tub for a while because I like to soak in the tub. And she would, when she left the bathroom to let me soak, she would always close the door behind her. And I asked her one time, why do you always close the door when you leave the room? And she said to keep out the draft. But I was just a little boy. I thought she said keep out the giraffe. And then one time she left the door open, she forgot to close it, and I'm sitting there in the tub waiting for a giraffe to show up. But alas, the giraffe never came.
Oh, boy. That's quite a story there, Matt.
Thank you. More of an anecdote, but thank you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, it's happening tonight, and I know probably in a few minutes. In
a few minutes.
It's Majestic Theater, but you can always go on majestictheater.net and get your ticket for the live stream tonight, and it's for the March 26th and 28th, Disney's The Little Mermaid Jr. for youth and teens, and so you might want to check that out. It's going on all weekend, a couple different shows. And, then you can call on Monday, you call Majestic Theater at 603-669-7466. You get some gift cards, or you can give them a donation. They're always willing to take your donations. And then April 18th, the Majestic Piano Man with Robert Dion and his friend Keith. And it's an in-person event. I know there's only limited tickets left, or they're doing it virtually on the YouTube.
Sing us a song, you're the Majestic Piano Man.
And then Palace Theater, and some of these things I read of the Hippo, I'm kind of timid. They said, "Oh, maybe some events coming up for summer, some shows." Mm-hmm. But until I hear that they're officially happening, I'm not going to announce it. Plus, they're down the road.
Well, that's why, Eric, we consider you to be such a responsible journalist.
And it's a great Peter White told me a while back. He says don't talk about events that are months away. We just want to hear about what's going on right now.
We want to know about what's right in front of us, staring us in the faces, but preferably from 6 feet away.
For the Rex Theater, but we'll see if they actually happen. Because a lot of things are planned, and you scribble it down, and then you put a cross through it. So
Right.
No sense right now.
Right.
So anyway, they're doing the same thing. You can call up. I don't have the number, but you can go palstheater.org and you can give them a donation, or you can get gift cards, because right now they're doing everything. On the live. Yeah, they're doing the live stream. They're doing the Zoom or whatever they do at the Palace Theater right now. They're not doing in shows live right now. So and I think every Friday they have a show on their page, and they're also doing April virtual classes. A lot of them for the teenagers. So if you're looking for that on Zoom, you can get a hold of the palstheater.org. Megan Quinn and Hunter and friends are putting that on, and they're having the April virtual Zoom camps again, $200. April 26th to the 30th from grades 2 to 6, 10 a.m. to 1, so 7 to 12, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And so you can't say there's nothing going on at the theater, even though the doors are closed technically because of the COVID. And it's crazy because I know they've been closed since like December 5th. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
The news about the relay. I collected a lot of money, the $1,552. I seen that reach some kind of plateau.
Oh,
In a while, but that's okay though. I'm not going to complain because I'm very happy with that. But if you're willing to make a donation, you can go to my Facebook page at the Relay for Life post, and you can hit donate to Feed Soul Jews. But they are going to have some kind of in-person. Probably have to wear a mask, I bet.
Yeah.
But June 5th, I'm guessing you probably still be wearing a mask at that point.
Yeah. No.
But 6 p.m. to 9, so it's going to be different teams will be walking the track, by themselves, and then they'll have some kind of in your car parking lot thing at the end where they follow it up. And I know that at nighttime they have the limited. They have some kind of tribute to the people that have died of cancer, and they have a little bag and stuff. I've never seen that before. That really don't hang out at the end. So I am looking forward to that event, and that'll be right around the corner. You think about it, June 5th. We'll be here before you know it.
Now, how do people, Eric? How do people donate to the Relay for Life through you? How do they do that?
Well, they go on my Facebook page and they can find the Relay for Life post and hit the donate button.
And you on the Facebook are Eric Gagnon for people looking for you.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And of course, we are on the road to WrestleMania, and they've released some new names. I don't think it's 100% official yet, but I think it's going to happen in the next couple of days. The RVD is going to the Hall of Fame, and the great Khali.
The great Khali.
India, I believe.
Yeah, never cared for him.
And the Kane is going to the Hall of Fame.
Kane, by the way, the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee.
It's crazy. It was the Undertaker's fake brother.
Yes, they are not really brothers. That is true.
And I also read another rumor going around that this fall the Bella twins are coming out of retirement.
Oh, okay. Now, Scott Robinson has a question. What about the Macho Man? Is he heading to the Hall of Fame? I think he's
already in the Hall of Fame.
He's already in, yes. He is in the Hall of Fame. He was inducted posthumously. My favorite wrestler of all time. I was very, very upset when he passed away.
Yeah, I think he did too many drugs. Excuse me. But anyways, WrestleMania week is going to be jam-packed.
Well, he had a heart attack.
Raw and SmackDown are going to be taped ahead of time.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to be taping April Fool's Day. They'll be taping the virtual April 6th event, or do it virtually for the Hall of Fame. And then, of course, 4th and 5th, they have an NXT two-night event. And, of course, WrestleMania will be April 10th and 11th. And the latest rumor I hear that she's getting better, and she might even be on the show tonight. The Queen.
Oh,
Ric Flair's daughter.
Charlotte Flair, yes. She had COVID or has COVID.
The rumor tonight, and then she's on tonight, and then she'll be in the main event with the Raw champion lady there, and a new girl there. I can't think of her name right now. I should have wrote it down. There's a new girl, Ripley or something. She's going to fight.
Scott Robinson is asking, what about the lovely Elizabeth? Is she in the Hall of Fame? I don't believe she is.
I don't know.
They should have
another girl.
They should have inducted her with Macho Man.
Rain Ripley. You ever heard of her?
Renee Ripley.
Yeah, she seems like a new name out there. So it's good they're giving a new name right out the back.
Well, she's
title shot.
She was in NXT for a while. She's really good, actually. Rocky Huber says Eazy-G.
Brand new to WWE.
Yes.
As far as the Big Show.
Yes. Rocky Huber says Eazy-G reminds me of King Kong Bundy.
Oh, yeah. A friend of mine, that's going to be his favorite wrestler. He's no longer with us.
I thought you were going to say, oh, yeah, a friend of mine also said that.
Yeah, and of course, next month, if you're interested in always a big event, Peter White likes this event, the 85th Masters. The winner gets a green jacket, and I can't say the story enough. The first time Jack Nicholson won his green jacket a couple of years ago, he slept in it all night. He was so happy.
Now,
it's a god-awful jacket, by the way.
Yes, and by the way, Eazy-G, do you know, because we do look to you for your journalism, do you know if the green jacket was wrinkled in the morning?
It probably was. It's going to be April 8th to the 10th, and CBS always like to say it's 100 million times. It's a tradition like no other.
Elizabeth Towns in the chat says, Matt Connarton, I know of a guest you should have on your show. I wonder if it's King Kong Bundy. Tom Blanchard says, coming in late, did he mention the big marathon tomorrow morning on Elm Street?
Oh, yeah, I've mentioned that many times over the last couple of months. I just kind of just left it alone now. But it was a traffic alert, yes.
Well, it is tomorrow. If it's tomorrow,
shuffle,
why would you leave it alone?
Camrock Shuffle. They usually do it for the parade, but the parade got canceled. And then they're doing a half marathon tomorrow on Sunday. So it's a traffic alert all weekend.
Do you like parades? Because I personally find parades to be I find them to be boring AF. The young people say that.
Parade is canceled, and the next parade that could be on the docket will be the Veterans Day parade, maybe the in-town Christmas parade. We can only hope for future betters.
Scott Robinson is also asking, he says, I'm also kind of wondering about the Polish Hammer. That would be Ivan Putski. I don't believe he is in the Hall of Fame.
I don't know if he's even around anymore.
Oh, no. Elizabeth Towns says, no, it was not King Kong Bundy. She was referring to Recycled Percussion. Oh, yes, I'd love to interview them. And or Dr. Kevin Ross Emery. Well, Dr. Kevin's been on my show many times. And, in fact, I appear on Dr. Kevin's show, the Dr. Kevin Show, the first Thursday of every month. I know Kevin very well. He's a close friend of mine.
Oh, yeah, talk about egg on your face the other day when I announced that promoter there was gone, but it wasn't him. It was Junior.
Jim Crockett Jr.
Yeah, it wasn't Jim Crockett, the promoter. It was Jim Crockett Jr.
Jim Crockett Jr. Yeah, Jim Crockett Jr., the son of Jim Crockett Sr. Let's see. Bobby Champagne says Jimmy Superfly Snuka is still the greatest of all time. Well, Snuka passed away a couple of years ago, but it's a little bit tricky talking about him because he did allegedly murder someone.
Yeah.
So that's a little dicey.
Oh, that changing the subject here. 10th anniversary of the Queen City Cupcakes. So tasty. And that's coming up next month. That's exciting for them.
Do they have a Jimmy Snuka cupcake? I hope not. Bobby loved Snuka coming off the top rope.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting.
Yes.
Wasn't there another wrestler supposed to kill somebody, too? The Rocker or something?
Who?
The Rockers?
They didn't kill anyone. No, they did. No.
No, I think not.
No, there was a wrestler who was paralyzed because he made a mistake in the ring during a tag team match against the Rockers.
There was another rumor going around. This other wrestler, I can't think of his name.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Marty Jannetty of the Rockers put it out there. He put it out there maybe a year ago. He's a very strange guy with a lot of issues, but he put something out there implying that when he was a young man that he had actually murdered someone, but it turns out it was all... Then he claimed it was all part of a storyline he was trying to do.
Oh, boy.
He's got a lot of problems, Marty Jannetty. Very, very troubled. Very troubled.
March was ready for the Sweet 16 tonight, but for some reason they pushed it up. So Sweet 16 is Saturday, Sunday, and the Elite Eight is Monday. So if you're looking for the games tonight, there are no games. So.
Oh, I have an update. Apparently, according to this article I see, Marty Jannetty actually admitted to killing Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Poisoned him.
Yeah, oh, yes. And then if you're interested in not the March Madness, the Frozen Four is still happening. It's going to coming up. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, April 8th to the 10th. And funny, not really funny, but another team.
Yeah, it's not really funny.
In the round of 16, they got eliminated because they had COVID. So the other team just passes on to the next round.
That's not funny at all.
No, it's not funny. It's sad.
It is
then,
sad.
Of course,
I don't know why you think it's funny.
No, it's not really funny. The Bruins are playing this Saturday against the Islanders and then Sunday against New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tuesday against New Jersey. And they've only got a couple more games until the playoffs. And I was thinking that the playoffs are probably going to have to be in Canada again because the teams that are playing in Canada are only playing the Canadian teams. They're not allowed to come here because of COVID. So that's why I'm thinking they're going to have to travel up there and make a bubble like they did last year. Oh, what a mess.
Rocky Huber is asking Eric. He says, so Easy, what would be your finishing move if you were a wrestler? Oh, that's a great question, Rocky. What would be your finishing move, Eazy-G?
I think I'll be Hogan there with the leg drop.
I would not recommend the leg drop. Did you know, Eric, that Hulk Hogan has done interviews where he has said that he regrets choosing the leg drop to be his finishing move because he suspects that the reason he has had so many back surgeries is because doing that move at the end of every match may have affected his spine.
Oh, well, all right. Well, maybe the Superman punch like Roman Reigns.
Did you also know that when Hulk Hogan wrestled in Japan in his early career, he did not use the leg drop for his finishing move in Japan? He used something called an axe. What was it? An axe? Oh, an axe bomber, I think, which was sort of this modified lariat.
Oh, really?
He should have stuck with that.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, though. I sometimes watch the couple of the old videos from wrestling days, and it's like, and I look at it and say, well, I remember seeing that on the television years ago, and so it's like watching a repeat.
Scott Robinson says his finishing move would definitely be the hammer. And
right.
Bobby Champagne mentions a move that, but I'm not going to say that on the air, Bobby, but that is very funny. And that is definitely a finishing move, if you know what I mean.
All right. Well, we got some Amanda McCarthy dates.
Oh, good. Now, Scott Robinson, I hope you're ready.
Yep. Here's one coming up right. It's no April Fool's joke. She's playing on April Fool's Day on a Thursday. The Twin Kegs 2 in Nashville, Tennessee.
What's it called? The Twin what?
Twin Kegs 2.
Twin Kegs?
Twin Kegs. Yep.
Oh, like two kegs. You got two kegs. They're twin kegs.
24th, he's playing in Nashville, Tennessee, on a Saturday. The Lost Patty Irish Pub and Restaurant.
Wait. Scott Robinson in the chat room says, wait, hold on. Yeah, start over, Eric. So Twin Kegs in Nashville, when is that? Scott needs to catch up. I'm sorry, what?
April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day. Well, I hope that's legitimate.
Yep.
I just played the foghorn to buy a little time.
On a Saturday, the Lost Daddy Irish Pub and Restaurant. Oh, yeah, she played yesterday in Nashville, and her brother was there, Mark McCarthy.
Oh.
He did a set, yep.
Oh, I didn't know it was such a musical family.
Yeah, he's living down there now. He moved to Nashville.
Bobby Champagne says, my finishing move is usually blowing the smoke off the revolver. I think Bobby may have killed Jimmy Snuka.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's playing this Monday, March 29th in Nashville, Tennessee, the Bell Court Taps. Then April 2nd, a Good Friday concert with Awakened Church. And I can't even say where she's playing, so let's say it's in Tennessee.
Why, is it a swear? You can't say on the air?
I can't say the words SMYRNA. I don't even know how to say that.
SMYRNA? That's Smyrna. 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 Smyrna.
And then Wednesday, March 31st, he's playing at Brentwood, Tennessee at Suits Hotel, and then he's playing again there April 7th.
Rocky Huber said, I know Easy's finishing move. It would be called the McCarthy, where he yells tour dates at you till you pass out.
Yeah, there you go. April 16th and 17th on Saturday, he's playing in Georgia at the Bradley Bar and Grill.
That is brilliant.
And Sunday, April 18th, he's playing the Copper Top Bar and Grill in Huntsville, Alabama. And then Saturday, March 27th, he's playing BS Brew Works in Springfield, Tennessee. And this is a new place. And Monday, April 5th, at Jolly's Arley's Pizza and Pub in Hendersonville, Tennessee. And then one more, April 25th, in Milton, Georgia, at the Painted Horse Winery and Vineyards.
The Painted what?
That's a lot of words. The Painted Horse Winery and Vineyards.
Oh, I thought you said something else. And Tom Blanchard says he's going to have to get a bus ticket. Do you know where he can get a bus ticket, Eazy-G?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Okay.
So, and then next month, to be announced the CD release party of the new CD for April Cushman, and it's called The Long Haul. And the date is, I asked what it is, but she said it's to be announced. So it's exciting for her.
Bobby Champagne says, or he could get you into a headlock and suffocate you into submission with the incredible side boob.
Oh, boy.
Well, you got those pecs, you know.
That does sound interesting.
Uh-huh. Well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. She's got some big shows coming up, and that's down the road.
Oh, it's a big show.
Yeah, the big show, yeah. She's got some local shows coming up first. A couple of them here. Friday, March 26th at 6 o'clock.
Who are we talking about?
April Cushman.
Oh, April Cushman, yes.
Right, yeah. Friday, March 26th at 6 o'clock in the Backyard Brewery Kitchen. And she's probably there already. It's right here in Manchester.
Uh-huh.
The show's in an hour. And then Saturday, March 27th, he's going to Tower Hill Taverns. He's played there before, 8 o'clock at Weir's Beach. Have you been to Weir's Beach lately?
Have I been to Weir's Beach lately? No, I don't go anywhere during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Have you been there before the pandemic?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't been there since 2007.
It's like time traveling when you go into those arcades at Weir's Beach. It's like all the old games are there. It's wild.
Yeah, it is. And then, then the NASCAR here. Last week we had a winner, Ryan Blaney. And you're going to laugh about this now. Coming up on Fox at 3:30. I saw this on there, and I'm not joking with you. March 28th, Sunday, Bristol Motor Dirt Speedway. The last time they had a dirt speedway race was 1970, and it's a Food City. Bristol. And the promo it says, "Let's get down and dirty."
Oh, you like to get down and dirty.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Because they're on dirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to throw it on my report. And then the following week, they don't race on Easter. It's always a rule in NASCAR.
Thank goodness.
No Easter race.
No Easter race.
So the next week, they're on Fox FS1. It's the Blue EMU Maximum. I tell you, they come with the weirdest names, these races. Pain Relief 500. And it's at 7:30 on a Saturday, first Saturday night race. And the following week, they're going to be on Fox April 18th on Sunday at Toyota Owners 400. So they are motoring around. I know some people don't like the racing. They consider it boring because it's going around the racetrack in a circle.
Yeah.
I always liked it. For some reason, I don't know why.
And there's a lot of chewing tobacco involved. Tom Blanchard says, I don't get it. I don't think he got the joke about the down and dirty. Can you explain it, Eazy-G?
Well, they're on a dirt track, so the getting down and dirty is the dirt. It's just a funny thing because when I get that little argument with Daryl the Dragon Dion, I said, "You want to get down and dirty?" Oh boy.
Elizabeth Towns says, Matt Connarton, this info is too much. I think she's overwhelmed by the information that you provide during your entertainment report, Eazy-G. It is impressive.
We'll end it with this one here. There's always fun things going on right here down on Elm Street, Studio 550. And get more information at 550hours.com. and 603-232-5597, and you get more info. I can't speak now. More information.
Let's see. Bobby Champagne is asking, would Eazy-G be willing to wear a bunny costume to help raise money for charity?
I don't know about that one. I have to think about it. Speaking of the Easter Bunny, we'll leave with this final thought. Easter Bunny is still happening. It's still hopping at the mall, hopping to the mall in New Hampshire, and I greatly appreciate it if you make an advance seating. It's happening until next Saturday, April 3rd. You get a photo, and it's all social distance. The Easter Bunny's wearing a mask. You have to wear a mask. Social distance. And then so that's still going on at the mall in New Hampshire.
Now, do you know if he's wearing a mask when he's hiding the eggs?
I don't know. Good question. I know they're not doing the Easter Bunny, Easter egg roll at the. They're doing it virtually, I guess, this year. So
a virtual egg roll
at the White House because of the COVID. I think last year Trump did it, but he didn't care about COVID.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But so that's the end of the report.
All right. Well, thank you, Eazy-G. So when will you be joining us next week?
Well, if you say the April Fool's Day is this he might not have the stuff for the April Fool's Day. We'll shoot for April Fool's Day. That's
great. Well, even if I do have what I need for April Fool's Day, I would love for you to be a part of that with your entertainment report.
All right. Well, there you go.
So we look forward to that.
God willing, I will be there.
God willing, good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise. Mike Pelopita says, good job, Eric. Mike Pelopita from Queen City Cabinetry.
All right, I appreciate that.
Yes.
So, see if I can figure out how to sign off what happened last week.
All right, Eric. Thank you, and we'll play you out.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Well, here we go.
Easy.
You want to know about stock market crashes, COVID-19, drive-bys, celebrity gossip? Eazy-G's got ya. Entertainment report style. That's why I'm easy.
Cause ain't nothing but a G thing, baby.
Are you ready for start time?
Let's find out. Ready, set, go.
We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, it's Eazy-G.
Good morning.
Hey, even though Tony D stole my thunder, I said, what have I got to lose? It's a new year, right? Right, Matt?
It is a new year, 2021. Everything's new.
Hey, it's funny, Daryl. I missed the last 5 minutes of the show because I had to make some very important phone calls. So I happened to be listening to the last 5 minutes of the replay, and somebody named Daryl Dion said I was banned for life for the weekly Dion.
You heard that correctly.
Oh, my goodness.
I did.
So this is true.
But, hey, I was thinking that almost a year to the date that I came on and had a little
meltdown.
Bit of a cry on
It was
the
a
show.
meltdown. It was a meltdown.
So I was thinking now that it's a new year, and since Matt's been on the show about 12 times, we already had a discussion before you showed up.
Bit of an exaggeration.
I'd
Yes.
like you guys
He doubled
to
it up.
reconsider my slot to come on the Weekly Dawn and come on with Matt and to redeem myself.
There's not a chance that's going to occur.
Wow.
All right. Well, it didn't
We're going to remain firm on that, Easy. I have nothing against you. You're not a very good listener, and as you can see right now, he's not listening one damn bit. So, which is one of the reasons that you're not going to be allowed on the show.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's not fair.
What's not fair about it?
Everybody deserves a second chance.
Not you.
This is America. Well, why do I do to get on your list?
Oh,
whoa,
Eazy-G.
whoa,
You can't.
whoa.
No swearing, my friend. I did the dump
Oh,
button.
I'm sorry.
on
What did I do to get on your bad list there, Daryl? I want to get to the bottom of this.
You want to get to the bottom?
I'm curious as well.
I do.
Well, that moment in time where you decided to lose it on the show was very disruptive, and I won't allow disruption
I
on
realized
Ben's
that,
show.
but it wasn't because I wanted to. I was overtired, and I was dealing with my mother's and my own personal issues.
Well,
Don't we always have issues to deal with?
Absolutely. If
you think I wanted to cry like that on the show, by the way, Daryl?
Oh, no, I don't think so. But you need to reconcile those issues before I can allow you to come on again.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to be a perfect person like you, Daryl?
Oh, I'm not perfect, man.
You want to get down and dirty with me?
Oh, there's not a chance because you would lose that. You would lose that all day long, pal. You don't
I'm
stand
no
the shot.
I'm no longer going to be friends with you, Daryl, because I don't like what you're saying on the radio, so goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Everybody, welcome back. We are way into hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed on this Friday afternoon. It is Friday, March 26, 2021, and we are coming to you from the WMNH Studios 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org, and of course you can go to mattconnarton.com for all of your streaming options. And hello to our friends at Raw Talk Online. And let me give the number. If you'd like to join us, don't wait until the last minute, because Fridays, it's one of those days where we begin to wind things down a little bit early and play some music between shows, because coming up at 6 p.m., Rob Azevedo will be here for Granite State of Mind. I just saw some interesting news. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound distracted. It's just I saw something that looked like breaking news, but actually I think we'll stick with what I had planned. But anyway, yeah, Rob will be up at the ADD kicks in once in a while on me. What can I tell you? Rob will be coming up at 6 p.m. with Granite State of Mind live in studio. And, of course, it is the COVID era, so, we wrap up a little bit early on days when there's another show immediately after us. We play some music to, create that bridge between shows, but, need time to wipe up and wipe down and clean up and all of that. So don't want to leave any droplets because we are still in the COVID era. But Rob will be here at 6 p.m. And then tonight at 7:30 p.m., of course, Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. And I have the honor and privilege of being Paul's co-host on that show, along with our friend Dan Randlett. So that's coming up at 7:30. So, the point being, if you're going to call, do it soon. 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnarton.com. And, of course, you can always interact and opine in the Facebook live chat, but the best thing to do, give us a call. 603-250-6007. And I do want to remind you, of course, that we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan right across the street. They have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. We're very honored to have them as a sponsor. And by the way, they do everything very safely there. The staff is masked at all times. Even out back in the kitchen, the tables are nice and spread out. They do clean and sanitize diligently and consistently. They take COVID very seriously, which is one of the reasons why we love having them as a sponsor. So the Hop Knot, and they're open all weekend. Don't forget Sunday brunch at the Hop Knot, which is a really cool thing that they do. By the way, Scott Robinson was asking in the Facebook live chat, what's tonight's theme? Tonight's theme is driving songs, and actually this is what Paul posted earlier. Driving songs on the next all-new episode of Retro Spectrum Radio will be featuring only the finest songs about automobiles and driving, cruising, and even crashing. We'll also be featuring memorable clips from TV and movies. Guaranteed to flash you back in 30 minutes or less. Do join us. So that is tonight at 7:30, and we look forward to that. And by the way, for that program, too, if you happen to be streaming it online, you can always chat in the chat room that will pop up on Facebook. But go to WMNHradio.org to stream the audio. So chat here on Facebook, but stream the audio on the website. Paul usually mutes the show in the Facebook live chat because that show is very music heavy. And because of all the music, Facebook ends up flagging us and we get kicked off and whatnot. So Paul mutes the audio on the Facebook feed for that show. That is why. Let's see. So there you go. By the way, some positive reviews for this week's entertainment report from our friend Eazy-G. Tom Blanchard says, very entertaining, Eazy-G. Bobby Champagne says, now that's just great radio, but I think that was looking... the only reason I played it, I played that now classic clip of Daryl Dion and his on-air confrontation with our friend Eazy-G, only because I hadn't planned on playing it, but then Eazy-G brought up the down and dirty thing, and it was during that exchange where Eazy-G infamously said to Daryl Dion, you want to get down and dirty with me, Daryl? Let's see. Tom Blanchard says, Elm Street is blocked off in front of Arms Park because of the big race tomorrow. Yeah, big race tomorrow downtown in downtown Manchester, right on Elm Street. Let's see. Before Eazy-G's entertainment report, we were talking about what just happened in Georgia, and this has been on my mind. Brian Kemp signing this legislation into law, which will drastically reduce, well, for one thing, it makes it a misdemeanor to hand out water to people waiting in line to vote in Georgia. It cuts down on voting times and whatnot. It's just going to make it harder to vote. But I want to play for you this audio, which you might have heard, or you might have already seen it, of, actually, we'll take this call first. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, it's Eazy-G. I'm calling back real quick. How did I know after I said that down and dirty? You're going to play that video. I'm not going to. I mean that video, the call. Yes. I'm never going to let that down.
Of course, it's a classic moment in the history of radio.
To steal some words from Jenny, evil Matt.
Yes. Well, she usually says evil Matty.
I knew you were going to do it though.
Yeah, you knew I was going to. You knew once you said down and dirty that. You knew
I
was
knew
coming.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, back in the day when we had more free time in your hands, you used to watch a lot of the wrestling. Did you ever play this game? I don't know if I mentioned this before. I always like to play it, and I still play it. When I watch the SmackDown, I used to watch the Raw. Who's coming out of into the ring first? Did you ever play that game?
No, never did.
Yeah, it's fun to play. One week I was watching the Raw when I used to have a lot more channels, and for some reason, 3 weeks in a row, Randy Orton came out first.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why, and I predicted it. It looks like he's going to fight your favorite wrestler as of these days, the Fiend. The
Fiend. Yes.
And they're going to fight at the
at Wrestlemania.
Some kind of
it'll be a cinematic match.
One of his matches, a fun. What does he call that place now? The Fun World or
the Firefly Funhouse. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those kind of matches, a gimmick match. They're probably going to. They're gonna be showing that again. So.
Yes.
And I don't understand all this fire and brimstone. It doesn't seem like that's PG to me.
I know, right? It's PG-13, I think.
It doesn't seem like it when they're throwing fire around.
Now that the WWE Network is on Peacock, they're actually starting to take out some things. Like they took out on I forget which WrestleMania it was, 5, 6, 7. Bad News.
Yeah, Piper.
Bad News Brown versus Rowdy Roddy Piper, where Piper painted himself half black. They took that match out. That is now removed.
You think they should be doing that?
I get why they're doing it. I remember when I was a kid watching that and thinking, is this really okay? This is kind of, this has some pretty heavy, I don't know if racial overtones is even the right way to put it. It's like more than that.
Apparently I was listening to the WWE Network the last time they showed the watch play on there, and a lot of people are complaining on the message board that they weren't happy with the Peacock because you can't fast forward and watch it, or you can fast forward and rewind, and Peacock doesn't allow you to do that.
Yeah, there's some features that, from what I understand, there's some features that the network no longer has now that it's a part of Peacock, but they're going to be working those back in. Just the technology has to catch up on that end.
My opinion is they shouldn't be. If there's controversial matches in the past, they shouldn't be just voiding those out. I think that's just my opinion.
Well, you'll still be able to find them on YouTube, I'm sure.
You think so?
Yes. But you know what the big rumor is? Within 5 years, NBC Universal is going to buy WWE outright. They'll just buy the whole thing when Vince retires.
Yeah. I heard that rumor too.
Yes.
I wonder what they'll pay for it.
A lot of money. It's a publicly traded company. It's worth a lot of money.
All righty, I know you're wrapping up the show, so I've already monopolized enough of the show. So.
All right, Eazy-G. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. So I wanted to play this. This is Georgia Representative Park Cannon being arrested outside the governor's office. So yesterday when Governor Brian Kemp in Georgia was signing into law all these new voting restrictions, Georgia Representative Park Cannon was outside. She wanted to be let in, and they arrested her and they took her away. And the optics of this, as if they weren't already really terrible, look pretty racist. This whole thing. This looks even worse. But I'll play the. This is a pretty good. I think someone enhanced the audio on this. But here it is. You can hear the audio of what's happening. And if you want to, or if you haven't already, I would recommend later watching the video. But here's what's going on.
The governor is signing a bill that affects all Georgians. Why is he doing it in private? And why is he trying to keep elected officials who are representing us out of the process?
Exactly. Are you serious?
No, you are not. Represent.
She's not under arrest.
For what? Under arrest for what? For trying to see something that our governor is doing? Our governor is signing a bill that affects all Georgians, and you're going to arrest an elected representative. Why are you arresting her? Tell us now. Why are you arresting her? Cite it. Give me a reason why you are arresting her. Give me a reason why you are arresting her. She is an elected representative. You are choosing to arrest an elected official. Cite the statute. Cite the statute that you are arresting her under.
All right. So there's longer versions of that, but you get the idea. RollingStone.com has a pretty good article on this. Everything you need to know about Georgia's new voting law. We won't go through this whole thing, but we do have limited time. But the law puts restrictions on mail-in voting, criminalizes the act of giving food and water to voters waiting in line, and could make it easier for officials to meddle with the results. And again, we know what this is all about, right? We know what's caused all this. It's Trump and his acolytes with their claims of widespread voter fraud. I'd still like to see some evidence of that, but there is none. And then, of course, you have Governor Brian Kemp, who had to defend, he rightly defended Georgia's election process as being a free and fair election and accurate. But now he's doing this, I believe, to redeem himself in the eyes of the MAGA cult, who still insists that Trump actually won Georgia, even though there is zero evidence to support that. So here's the article from Rolling Stone. Republicans in the state of Georgia muscled through a sweeping new law that will dramatically roll back access to the ballot box in the nation's most hotly contested battleground state. The new law, passed by both chambers of the state legislature and signed by Governor Brian Kemp yesterday, is designed specifically to address the controversies that engulfed the Peach State after the 2020 election, when Joe Biden narrowly beat Donald Trump and two Democratic U.S. senators were elected from Georgia, tilting the balance of power in the chamber. So here's what's in it. It's a potpourri of odious measures designed to make it harder for Georgians to vote and register and easier for fringe groups to challenge their registration. It criminalizes what's called, quote, line warming, or offering food and water to individuals waiting to vote, a practice that has become popular as the Georgia GOP has dramatically reduced the number of polling places over the past 10 years, increasing the amount of time voters, especially voters in mostly black precincts, must wait in line to cast their ballot. Quote, it's criminalizing the normal activities you do to take care of our friends and neighbors, unquote, says Lauren Grow-Wargo, CEO of Fair Fight, the anti-voter suppression organization co-founded by Stacey Abrams, a name you're familiar with, no doubt, says of the provision, quote, when our neighbors are not there in an hours-long line and the League of Women Voters can't go deliver somebody a granola bar, unquote. Now, before I go any further with that, by the way, I have not heard anybody anywhere, not one single Republican in Georgia or anywhere else, explain why it is so important to prevent people waiting in line to vote something to eat or a bottle of water. Why? Why must that now be a misdemeanor to supply that to someone? What is the problem you're trying to solve? I mean, you know, you're not even subtle about what you're trying to do here, you know? And that's why we're calling it the new Jim Crow. That's why I opened the show today with Jim Crow Blues. So the article goes on to say, the new law also allows for unlimited challenges to a voter's registration, a tactic that has been used to racially profile voters, intimidate them from voting, or knock them off the voter rolls completely. The new provision, Grow-Wargo says, is, quote, just opening an even worse Pandora's box of race-based, ethnicity-based challenges, unquote. Among the new law's provisions are restrictions on mail-in voting. Voters will be required to provide either their driver's license or state ID number or a photocopy of their identification to cast a mail-in ballot. Yeah, because everybody has a photocopier in their home, right? It also bans third-party groups from sending absentee ballot applications to voters and ends the use of portable polling sites like the mobile voting buses used in Democratic Fulton County last year. So, you know, the article goes on to describe what this has to do with Trump. We'll skip over that because we're short on time. We already know. How soon could it become law? It is law now, according to this. Governor Brian Kemp signed the 95-page bill yesterday evening, less than 2 hours after it was passed by both houses of the state legislature. I'm skipping down again because we're almost out of time, but Park Cannon, and I played the audio of her being dragged off by the police. Says here, in a move that drew comparisons to the Jim Crow era, Georgia State Rep. Park Cannon was arrested and forcibly removed from the state capitol while trying to watch the governor sign the bill into law on Thursday. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Cannon was, quote, charged with knowingly and intentionally, unquote, knocking on the governor's door during a bill signing and stomping on Officer L.T. Langford's foot 3 times during the apprehension, and as she was being escorted out of the property, unquote. Well, wait a minute. When she was being escorted out of the property, that's when she was already under arrest. So how was she being arrested for that? So that's what happened yesterday in Georgia. But Rob Azevedo is here from Granite State of Mind. How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I opened with Jim Crow Blues from not the
Lead Belly.
Yeah, but I didn't open with the Lead Belly version only because I couldn't find a really good quality. That was recorded obviously quite a few decades ago. So I found Odetta performing it live, and I played her version of it, which was really good.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, I thought it was appropriate.
Good Lord, man! What is in 2020? It seems like racism, the attack on blacks, the attack on immigrants, it's like up.
Mm-hmm.
Not going. I mean, what is it? 1940 or 2021?
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's ludicrous, man. It's what a step backwards.
Yeah. I feel like
if I was an African American, I'd stop paying attention to all of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, but that's what they'd want you to do.
Yeah.
The
voting down in Georgia.
It's just. It's incredible. They've criminalized. Like you can't even give someone a bottle of water now who's waiting in line.
The whole voting thing is it's such nonsense because why don't they have it over the course of a weekend or on a Saturday? No, you have to have it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday where it's the least convenient for everybody.
Right. Well,
rigged.
Yeah, it is to the advantage of Republicans to make it harder to vote. When you look at the presidential elections, for example, only one of the last 8, I think I have this right, only one of the last 8 presidential elections was won by a Republican via popular vote.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can lose the popular vote but still win the Electoral College. Republicans only won the presidential election with the popular vote 1 out of the last 8 elections. So there's it makes sense.
And then assaulting Asians.
Yeah.
I mean, and you name a time in your life when an Asian person has ever, I don't know, come at you.
Right.
I can't. It's a passive group of people,
right.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, and I used to ride the train day in, day out down in Boston. 14 stops both ways.
Yeah.
Littered with I don't know. I am just so glad, Matt, that I don't have this disease. You know what I mean? That I don't have this addiction to bigotry.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a lot of other issues, but I wasn't blessed. Thank God I wasn't cursed with the disease of, prejudice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great way of putting it.
It's a disease, man.
That's a great way of putting it.
And it's a disease that germinates from your parents.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a 40-year-old guy, you didn't get it in your 20s from your buddies in college. You got it from your parents.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and their parents got it from their parents. So, like I always say, you got a lousy kid, right? You got a racist kid. You did a lousy job as a parent.
Yeah.
I don't know. Annoys me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, by the way, Rocky Huber just posted in the chat room, wow.
Oh, Rocky.
He says, wow, I just walked by Texas Mike. I said, hi. He ignored me. I said, you listening to Matt? He ignored me. I said, I can't wait to tell Matt. He just looked at me.
Oh, I love the drama.
Oh, I do too.
I just love it. And Rocky, can I say something to Rocky? Rocky, thank you for sending me that Gonzo picture down in Lawrence recently. He was down in Lawrence, and he knows I like Hunter Thompson and Gonzo art and all that. And somebody had drawn some Gonzo art down in Lawrence, and he sent it to me. So thank you, Rocky.
We should clarify, you don't mean Gonzo as in Mike Gonzalez, who appears on the station quite a bit.
The second most popular Gonzo guy, this little writer named Hunter Thompson.
Yes.
Created Gonzo. Yeah.
Well, very good, very good. What do you have coming up tonight?
Takeover is back. We got a first-time performer on this, on the Manchester show of Granite State of Mind. His name is Nick Burns. He comes from New Hampshire. He's very, very talented musician. Singer-songwriter, a little bit cosmic, very chill, great voice, incredible guitar player. He's also in the Faith Ann band. So he's coming on with one of his buddies, and they're going to do it. And then they are going to, at 6:30, do the takeover. And from what I understand, they chose all local New Hampshire bands to, play on their segment of the show.
Very good.
Yeah, man.
Very
so
good.
That's it.
All right. So make sure you stick around for that. That's coming up at 6 p.m. Rob Azevedo with Granite State of Mind. I've been tripping on my words a lot today.
Maybe it's just Friday. You've been think about how many words you've said this week.
That's right. And I have to say more tonight because I'll be back at 7:30 with Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C.
I was watching you guys on 97 last Friday night. Comcast 97, is that right?
Yeah.
So were you guys on it? Yeah, I was either watching it live or...
well, you were probably watching it on Facebook.
On Facebook, I'm sorry.
That show's not on 97.
Okay, so it was on Facebook.
Yeah.
Look cool.
Yeah, we have a great time with it. So, so that'll be up tonight at 7:30. So with that, I will bid you all adieu. Thank you all so much. Thank you, of course, Eazy-G, for calling in with another stellar entertainment report. Oh, we learned so much. And I got a couple songs to play to bridge us from this program to Rob coming up at 6 p.m. And if you miss any part of today's show, this will be up in just a little bit. WMNHradio.org and MattConnarton.com and so on and so on. Everybody enjoy the weather. It is beautiful out. And make sure you stop by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan at 1000 Elm Street, right across the street. And I feel like a little public enemy to wrap up the show today. So here we go. A little Fight the Power for you. And I'll talk at y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.